sounds a little bit like that,
Did
doesn't
you
it?
hear? Emma's
Yeah.
got Smeralda.
Exactly, that's what I think.
It is Sunday, February 28th, 2021, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofatime, we are talking to Emma Cruises. I am really excited about this. It has been so long since I have had somebody as a guest on this channel, and I don't know why. I think for a long time, the cruise community was sort of, just all kind of doing their own things, and now with all the lockdowns and stuff like that, people are being creative and reaching out to each other. There's been a lot of really cool collaborations, people on the screen at the same time that I don't know, people weren't expecting to see, or at least that I wasn't expecting to see. I was also never expecting to be somebody who people would ask to have be on their show. But now I've been on Cruise Tips TV, I've been on Emma's channel, I've been on La Lido Loca, and there's so many more. So anybody out there who's watching this, if you're interested, get in touch. Let's come up with a plan. I would love to be a part of it. As those of you who made it to the live stream last week for Sunday Sofatime, in that live stream, I talked about the 3 possible cruises, or let's say cruise lines and itineraries that are being offered right now. And they are TUI MeinSchiff to the Canary Islands, MSC Grandiosa, exactly the same cruise I did back in October, or the Costa Smeralda, which is a very large, almost brand new, because it hasn't been cruising for so long and it was basically new before the lockdown. Almost brand new, gigantic Italian cruise ship. And I've never cruised with Costa. And there are a lot of things about this ship that originally I thought looked really appealing and interesting, and that also would perhaps appeal to a big audience. But I know so few people who have experience with Costa, and I know so few people who have had good experience with Costa. And when we were talking about it in Sofatime Live last week, all of a sudden, everybody was like,
"You need to talk to Emma."
So I am so happy that she's here. She needs no introduction, but here she is, live from her luxurious penthouse apartment overlooking London's Covent Garden. It's Emma Cruises.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me, Morgan.
Emma, I'm so happy to have you here. We were talking about this earlier, that it's been a very long time since I've had anybody as a guest on the very unofficial travel guides. Over the last half a year, I think I've been a guest on more people's channel than ever before. And I don't know why it took me so long to start having people come over here, but thank you for being the first.
Thank you. I feel very special.
First question I have is, where's Hudson?
Hudson's sunbathing, because the sun is out here in the UK. And to film this, I've closed all the curtains and put the lights on. So he's long gone.
Nice. Okay. Chili is just over here, and we brought up another moving box from the basement. We're going through and reorganizing our storage unit in the basement, and she loves to sit on it now. But when she starts moving around, it's loud. So if you hear strange sounds coming from this direction,
oh no. Okay, sounds good.
So I brought you on here because, as you know, because you were a small part of it. Last week, I did a live chat, and I had come up with 3 different cruises that I would be able to go on within the next few weeks. I know that might shock a lot of people, but over here in Europe, there are 3 sort of, mainstream cruise lines offering cruises at the moment. They are TUI MeinSchiff, the MSC with their Grandiosa, which I just cruised on a couple months ago, and also Costa with the gigantic and relatively new Smeralda. During this live chat, all of a sudden, the main topic in the chat was, he needs to talk to Emma. Emma knows, ask Emma. And so that's why I decided to invite you here. Just for anybody who may have not seen the video, and I'm going to put I will link to your channel, of course, below. Tell us about what Costa cruise was it, and when did it happen?
Okay, so I took a week-long Costa cruise. I'd seen Costa cruises around for years, and I've always thought, for the right price, I'll give it a go, but I have no expectations. I went into it completely not expecting, I don't know what I expected, to be honest, but it was a week-long cruise. It was from Athens, and it was 2018, which a few years ago, but I feel like we've lost a year, so it doesn't feel like it was very long ago. It was actually better than I expected, but I only paid, just for disclosure, I only paid £400, including flights, for a week-long cruise. And we even had luggage on the flights.
That is crazy. So did you book it directly from the cruise line with the flights?
No, we used a travel agent, so it came together with the EasyJet flights, with luggage, and we actually flew straight in and boarded the cruise. I know you're supposed to always fly in the night before, at least, but we didn't do that, but it worked out fine.
Recommended, yeah.
But for the price of the actual cruise, I think it was about £300. So you're honestly looking £50 a night for this cruise that I took. We took it in November, because November's a good time to take a cruise from Athens. But it was good, yeah. Unlike anything I've ever done before, though, or since.
Okay. Well, I still haven't necessarily made a decision between which 3 of these cruise lines or cruises and itineraries I'm going to pick. But as you're one of the other cruise personalities here online, and so many people were interested in hearing your take on this, and I know one of the most recent videos on your channel also has to do with that cruise, right?
It is such a coincidence, because I haven't talked about this cruise for years. I wasn't on your live stream at the time when you started talking about Costa, and I started getting messages saying, you need to go on YouTube, Morgan's talking about you. So I was summoned across, and I came across, and then, yeah, it's just good timing. Like something must have happened. But yeah, I have seen a lot about the Smeralda. I am interested in that cruise ship. To me, the name Smeralda sounds like something infectious. I'm not going to lie. But it looks like an amazing
more
ship.
Infectious risks.
It sounds like, oh, I've got a bit of Smeralda today. Like, it sounds a little bit like that, doesn't it?
Did you hear? Emma's got Smeralda.
Exactly, that's what I think. But the ship looks amazing. It looks seriously cool.
It does look cool, yeah. I didn't really have it on my radar necessarily until it came up as an option. So
yeah,
as my Costa cruise expert, and full disclosure, Emma has cruised one time with Costa, correct? That's more than I have.
One time, yeah.
And but you also draw from a wide variety. You have cruised with a handful of other cruise lines. So I've come up with 25, I'm reading it here from my screen, 25 quick questions about Costa cruises.
Okay.
So if you will allow me, I will go through this list of questions. Some of them are really short, some of them are a little bit longer. And I'm giving you 5 possible ways to answer the question. Yes, no, hell yes, hell no, or perhaps. Are you cool with that?
I'm going to do my best, yes.
Okay. This isn't going to be timed or whatever. And then at the end, I'm sure I'll have more questions. And let's just get into it, okay?
Okay, let's.
So I'm going to have to move this over a little bit. Are you ready?
Yep.
So compared to other cruises, did you have any major complaints about the embarkation process?
No.
Okay.
Just a no.
Have you ever paid less for a cruise of this length?
Hell no.
Okay. Did you feel you got your money's worth?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Once you were on board, did you spend a lot of money?
No.
Are things like iced tea and juices included in the buffet? Okay, for dinner.
Well, there's barely anything included, but when the buffet is open for a limited time, tea is there for maybe 1 hour in the afternoon. Iced tea, though, I don't know. I think that might be a step too far.
Okay, we'll come back to that, okay? Would you say, compared to other cruise experiences you've had, that this one was the smokiest?
Hell yeah. Okay. I need something stronger than hell yeah for that one. Goodness.
I know you're not vegetarian, but from your experience, would you say Costa has a wide variety of vegetarian options in their buffet?
Perhaps.
Did you eat in any specialty restaurants?
No.
Compared to similar cabins on other cruise ships, did you have any major complaints about your cabin?
Perhaps not complaints, but have you seen the cabin that I stayed in?
Yes, very
Yeah.
interesting color choices.
Colors, yeah, not complaints, but I don't want to say yes or no. Just perhaps it was all right. Yeah.
Okay. Was there enough information in English on board?
Yes.
Is it true that the buffet was only open for dinner until 8:30?
Hell yeah.
What?
I know.
Okay, by the way, I should have said it in advance. These are not in categories. We're springing from like subject to subject. You probably noticed that by now. So was there any place to get a late night bite to eat included?
Hell no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, I think I've made my decision by now, but we'll continue the questions anyway. Okay, one thing that I didn't enjoy about my recent cruise on the MSC Grandiosa, which is also an Italian cruise ship, is that there was just loud music playing everywhere all the time. Was that your experience on Costa as well?
No, but where there was loud music, it was very loud.
Okay.
But there were always places where you could find quiet. And I was usually there.
That's the next question. A little more specific. Did you notice any place on the top deck of the ship that you could sit out in the sun and read a book without music playing?
No, probably not.
MSC does not allow drinks in their theater. Did Costa?
No.
Okay.
Well, I think you can bring them in, but you can't. There's not a bar in there. I think there's no service in there.
Okay, because on MSC, we weren't even allowed to bring them into the theater.
Oh,
I don't
think you're
necessarily
allowed.
need service in the theater, but I like to, it's nice.
Yeah, I do.
Did Costa offer name brand musicals like you would see in the West End or in
Hell no.
Broadway?
Hell no.
Was there any point where you left one of the shows because you thought, what is this?
No, actually, no.
During the shows, did you ever think, what is this?
Yes, I did think that, but it was entertaining. It was constantly entertaining.
Was there anything about your experience in the main dining room that you would describe as relaxing?
No.
Okay. I know you cruised in December, and this might be a factor in the whole thing, but did you notice a lot of deck chair saving happening?
No, but it was too cold, I think.
That's what I figured, but I thought I'd ask the question anyways. So was your first impression of the inside of the ship that it was big, crazy big?
Yes, it was crazy big, as that man did say when I left. When I entered, there was a man very loudly behind me as I was filming. I was filming it because I'd never seen anything like it. And there's a man behind me who goes, "It's crazy big." And it was crazy big. It was more the crazy colors that got me. I know how big a cruise ship is. I've been on other ones, but I've never been on one with that color scheme or so sparkly. I'm used to cruising with MSC, who are very sparkly, but this was a new level of, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It was like, you don't want to have a headache and be like,
Would you even call it a color scheme? It's just like every color. Yeah,
every color, every like metallic color, and red and yellow and green and blue and every color. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, we've got a few more questions here. I just asked that question actually more as a joke because in one of Emma's video, the video where she's boarding the ship, I noticed there's this guy who's like saying, "Oh, it's big, it's crazy big, crazy big." And so go watch it and you'll see it too. So will you cruise with Costa in the future?
Yes.
The offer I have as a solo cruiser in a balcony cabin on the Smeralda would be around €1,000, not including flights or the drink package. Do you think that's a reasonable cost for a Costa cruise?
No.
Do you think I could find a more affordable cruise with Costa if I wait a few months?
Yes.
For the
Maybe
same,
even hell yeah.
Okay. For the same or a smaller price, would you recommend I cruise the same route around Italy in March with the MSC Grandiosa again?
Yes.
And for the same or smaller price, would you recommend I cruise the Canary Islands in March with the TUI MeinSchiff?
Oh, yes. Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the 25 quick questions. And it definitely, I mean, there were a few things in there that were very like pivotal questions, but let's just go back here and just talk about is there anything that you would like to elaborate more on now that we're through?
I mean, for me, the price I paid, I went on there and I thought, I've paid less than if I stayed in the most budget hotel on land. There's no way I could even stay on land. So I went into it, and if the food wasn't very good in the buffet, which it wasn't, I was amazed that there was any food. And I was treating that as in, like, this is a perk that there is food, rather than I've paid for the food and why is it cold in the buffet, etc. So for the price I paid, it was very, very good. But if it was a similar price to an MSC cruise, I would take the MSC cruise, because it was strange. I've cruised with MSC, and MSC is Italian cruise line, but it's like an Italian cruise line for everybody. Whereas Costa felt like, to me, it's an Italian cruise, and you can come, like, you are invited to come, but it's very much an Italian cruise. They haven't tried to make it more accessible for people who aren't Italian. And fair enough, like they should do that.
That's a great way to put it. I mean, I'm assuming, because I haven't had any experience with them yet. There was one other thing. So tell me about the opening times for the buffet.
Yeah, so it would be at meal times, the buffet would be open, and outside of meal times, it wouldn't be. And I don't know about you, but for me, a lot of my cruise eating doesn't occur during meal times. It occurs afternoon snacks. It occurs after dinner. I like going to the buffet in the evening, not because I'm hungry, just because I like to have some cookies before bed or something. And 8:30, strict 8:30, it closed and it did not reopen. And I managed to be hungry for the first time ever on a cruise, because I would wake up after breakfast had finished and you'd have to wait for lunch, and it would be like 2 hours without.
And there's no place else to get a bite to eat?
Not that I found. I bought on some emergency snacks at one point.
Okay. Wow, that's odd. And two other people I have contact with who have been on Costa cruises, who also say they would never do it again.
Oh, really?
They mentioned that a lot of these are two independent people that have never spoken with each other on two totally different Costa cruises. And they both said that they would run out of food in the buffet, that like towards the end of the like lunch time, that there would be nothing left. And that because of that, people would come at the beginning of the buffet time and then take a ton of food that they would end up not eating.
I didn't see that, but I suppose it does make sense. If you know that it's going to be closed at a certain time, people start hoarding it, don't they? Whereas on most cruises, they just move things around, don't they? If you're on an MSC cruise, between lunch and dinner, they'll just close off one side, won't they, and move things around. I didn't see that. I didn't see anyone hoarding any food, but yeah. It was okay. What was in the buffet was fine. It was just the first time I've thought, like, I don't know if this is supposed to be hot or this is supposed to be cold. Like, I'm not sure if it's warmed up or cooled down for the first time. But as I say, like, there was no pizza. There was literally no pizza. I didn't find a single slice of pizza during the week.
What?
I know. And I think it's because they sell pizza. They have a pizza place on there. Okay. But I never saw pizza in the buffet. Whereas on MSC, you constantly get pizza, late night snack, 2 a.m, pizza, no problem. But I never saw a pizza. I don't know if that was just me and I got unlucky for that week, but never.
I mean, if there's 2 things, let's say 3 things that I think you can find in every cruise ship buffet, it's pizza, burgers, and chips. French fries, you know what I mean? Those are like things that are just always offered in the buffet, and usually offered someplace 24 hours a day, either like someplace, inside the ship in some promenade or something, or on the pool deck. I can't believe. Wow.
No, there wasn't like they need like an international cafe from Princess or something like that, where you can just get sandwiches and snacks, but they didn't have anything.
Well, Emma, thank you so much. You helped me get a little bit closer to making this decision. And if there's anybody out there that can't guess what the decision might be by now, write in the comments below and I'll try to clear it up. Thank you so much for spending your time with me tonight. And I hope we can, maybe get together again online soon, on your channel, on my channel. It's really great to be in contact with you. And I'm always happy when you show up in my live chats, and I'm always happy when I can show up in yours as well.
Well, I was summoned last time, so I'm glad I helped you make a decision. yeah, I think it's better just to know the more information before you make a decision rather than blindly go into it. It looks like a really cool ship, but personally, for the price that you said, that's not a price I would pay for that cruise. Maybe this newer ship is way better. I don't know. But based on my one cruise on the Costa Luminosa, I wouldn't pay that price. I would take a cheaper one somewhere else.
Well, thank you, Emma Cruises, and we'll say goodbye now. And now comes the time
on Sunday Sofa Time where I comment on your comments live on air. I already mentioned the topic of last week's video in this video, so I'm just gonna get right into the questions or the comments. The first one is from BinkyJean64. Binky Jean writes, I love to sip iced tea and watch your videos. Hashtag secret word. The potato thing for Emma is that one time she mentioned that comments on her videos help her. She said that even if you just say something like potato, it helps. Well, you can't give us that kind of information and expect us to not have fun with it. If you look at the comments on any of her videos, chances are pretty good there's a potato or two in there. Anyways, cheers. Keep up the good work. I didn't understand that either. Now I know. So Emma, if you're watching this, potato. And you know, that's the truth. There are two things that you can do on every video that you watch of your favorite YouTubers here. Two things you can do on every video to help support the channel. One is press the thumbs up button, and the other one is just write any comment at all, even if it's potato. There's always a lot of focus on, you know, saying subscribe, subscribe, but subscribe is something you only do once and then you're subscribed. But like I said, thumbs up, comment, that's a simple, free way that you can support all of us content creators. Next comment is from Jerry Manning. Jerry writes, for Savona, you fly to Genoa and it's about 30 minutes on the train, 45 minutes on the bus to the cruise terminal. I've done a couple of transatlantic with Costa from Barcelona to Rio. Ooh, that sounds like a cool transatlantic, and Buenos Aires. A lot of the negatives about Costa is to do with the language, but all staff speak English and they are always English-speaking guests on board. If you've done the other lines, then try Costa. You may be surprised. I have 3 cruises lined up with them: Barcelona round trip via Istanbul, Barcelona to Guadalupe, and Dubai to Savona next year. If Costa was as bad as some of the reviews, they wouldn't keep getting my money. That's a very good point. Thank you for that information. One of the other things that makes this itinerary that I was looking at unattractive to me is that the port it's leaving from is not necessarily easy to get to for me, and at the current moment it's even a higher stress level just with the way things are right now. But it's nice to know that I could fly to Genoa and then take a train, because I've been to Genoa a few times. I feel like I know my way around there a little bit. Final comment is from Wendy Federley. Wendy, I chose your comment! You guys are gonna laugh when you see what Wendy wrote. I like listening to what Morgan has to say while I enjoy iced tea. Secret word. However, is it just me, or is that air horn the most annoying sound you have ever heard? I like that Morgan is getting supported, but I can't deal with that sound. I'm sorry, Wendy. It was automatically part of my streaming program, and I like to watch, there's a comedian drag queen called Trixie Mattel, and she uses that all the time in her live streams, and so I was trying to do it, and I don't know, it's just a fun, I don't know, party sound. Suggest another fun party sound that I can use, and I will use it in the next live chat if you do suggest one and I can find it and I remember by then, because, you know, I'm getting old. But yeah, I'm open to feedback. I always appreciate any of your feedback. Positive feedback, of course, feels really good. I love that. And specific negative feedback like this, I mean, this wasn't directed directly at me, but of course, you know, I read all these comments, so I got it anyways. Thank you everybody for spending this time of your day with me. Thank you again to Emma for helping me out with this decision and coming over here being a guest on Sunday Sofa Time. And check back in a few days, because my video from last summer where we got to tour the shipyard in Papenburg and see the Odyssey of the Seas being built, as well as some other ships, is going online. So I'm looking forward to bringing that to you, and see you soon. Bye-bye.